Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm showing you a process that I kind of put together while I was on the live with Lindsay on Friday. But today I just wanted to kind of show you where I started off in this process. I knew that I wanted to YouTube this video and have a process video for you, even though this is a super simple page. So this is kind of where I started off in what I decided while I was working during the live, but I wasn't fully satisfied with this. I didn't like the placement of everything. And so you'll see me kind of here just work through this video and find where I want things. At first I was thinking maybe that heart was too big, so I was going to look at the smaller clear stickers, but that heart is super small and it, has big lungs next to it. And so that's what kind of pops out with that small clear sticker. So I knew I still wanted to use that bigger die cut because we are talking about how is your heart on day one. I am journaling Psalm 139, 23 and 24, which says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." And so that's why I definitely want to use that heart in there. This is a different kind of, project for me. I usually work in, a very large interleave Bible, and I have a whole page to use, but now I have this little mini file folder page and it's a little bit tricky. I loved this little math flashcard that I've had in my stash for forever. I actually, took it out for maybe working in my retreat book, but I never actually used that in there. And so I already had it out. I was really excited that it kind of matched the colors we had going on here. And as always, I always have some vintage ledger paper out, and that was a nice way to break up that little crosshatch in the background. And so you'll see me here add a little bit of frayed burlap to all the edges. I did fussy cut these ephemera pieces a little bit tighter into the image. And definitely for these greenery pieces, I definitely cut out quite a bit of that white space. And so I'm just making sure that everything is cohesive, especially that black and white image. I want to make it look a little bit more vintage so it matches a little bit better. And as you see here, I am cutting out that little verse. I cut this from a flashcard. Now, originally I was hoping, as you can see here, I made this little label with a Tim Holtz die. I will show that in a second, I believe. But I had originally hoped that that die would, go over the verse, but it just kind of creases on a wrong area. So instead, I flipped that over and I'm just going to use it as a little label to put that verse on and kind of prop it up some. So I'm pretty settled on where I want these ledger pieces, and so I'm going to glue those down so it's one less thing to think about. Like I said, this is a little tricky for me, and so I'm just putting things down as I see them, as I see that they'll work. And so I'm using my Barely Arts glue to glue these pieces down. And then I'm going to turn over and work on the left-hand side of this project. I feel like I'm pretty settled on where I want everything on that side. And so I'm going to glue down these greenery pieces. I would, overlap them and kind of have them hanging off the file folder. However, since they are white on the back side, it'd make it a little bit tricky, and I'm not sure I want that seen on that first page, which I haven't done yet on that file folder. So I'm going to keep them inside the file folder, and I'm going to layer this heart and lungs over that beautiful floral piece. I also wanted to add a little bit of this cheesecloth since I have so much of it on the front cover, and it's just, a great filler and adds some texture. And so I'm going to put that behind those heart and lungs, and I will kind of prop up that last piece on some foam tape. Now that I'm settled with the left-hand side of this file folder page, I'm going to focus my attention obviously on the right-hand side and making sure that I have a good amount of texture on the right-hand side as well. It seems a little bit empty right now since I focused so much of those die cuts on the left-hand side of the page. I definitely want to make this a little bit more cohesive with maybe some texture or other elements. And at first I rip a piece of index card and I'm thinking of adding a little clear clear sticker of those brown bottles to that. But then I remembered that we had that really cool clear sticker anatomy paper, and I'm thinking about making a layering element behind that flashcard. So I take this out and I'm deciding I think I like that brown one best. I'm going to kind of lift that clear sticker up and put that index card underneath and just cut a little bit out and leave it on the sheet so I can use the rest of it at another project or another page. I am going to follow those cut lines so it looks like a torn piece of paper, even though obviously this clear sticker doesn't tear well. And then I'll work on exact placement in a little bit. But I also wanted to add some stitching to this side of the page. And so I take this math flashcard and add just a simple zigzag stitch. I really love adding some stitching to my pages, and this is an excellent way to just add some more texture. And then I'm looking at this layering. So at first I was going to have it on the right hand side underneath that flashcard, but then I ended up really liking it on that left hand side with it a little bit more vertical. And then that adds a nice layering piece to the back side, and so that the verse doesn't look like it's floating anywhere, it's kind of in that cluster. So I will kind of put that underneath the flashcard. I did drop it on the left hand side of my page, which is always tricky. You want to get that glue off fairly fast so it doesn't leave any residue on there. And I'm pressing that down and adding that math flashcard. Now I didn't add any ties or back stitching to this zigzag stitch, so I'm making sure to put a lot of glue down, so hopefully it'll hold it fairly well. If there's glue there, those stitching details will not come undone. So with this little verse label, I did decide to add some little mini brads from Tim Holtz. These are really kind of tricky to use, but they add a really nice touch. So I have one of these little poker pens, and I'm just sliding that through and adding that to this label to make a little something different to this page. I'll glue that on, and then I also wanted to add some mini tile alphas to this page. I don't often use those mini tile alphas, and since this is a mini project, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to do so. So I'm looking at the different colors alongside what I have going on here and ultimately decide on that teal one. However, I wasn't crazy about the bright white lettering, and so I take my makeup brush that always has some frayed burlap on it, and I'm just going to brush that over some of the letters, actually the whole page, and so it'll work completely with the rest of my kit. And so that just ages up those letters a little bit so they're not so stark white. And I'm adding the words "search me" because on that flashcard that I cut the verse from, it had the word search. Also, search me is obviously the beginning of Psalm 139:23, and that, you know, as soon as you say those words to me, I know the whole verse. And I'm trying to kind of see where I want that me portion. I wasn't sure if I want it centered or off to the right hand side or on the left. So I ended up trying a bunch of different things, ultimately deciding on just placing it right here at the beginning of that flashcard. I feel like that looks the best. And then guys, this page is complete. If you've enjoyed this project, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can also find me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I'll try to link everything I use down below in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.